we had two closings over the last month. One was out in Mesa, and I guess with that whole process, it was interesting in the sense that it was an off-market listing where we had the relationship with the seller. They didn't want to go public on the market with everything, but it did make the listing process a little bit more difficult than the traditional marketing timeline. Granted, I mean, you and I both know if we did put it out there live and have it officially out there, having multiple eyeballs looking at the property, it would be a lot more competitive, and I think we would have gotten it done sooner than later. But definitely lesson learned there, I would say, is be more upfront and aggressive with pushing it on the market. But ultimately, it's the seller's call.
So why do some sellers not want to put the listing out there and just wait and see if we can get an offer off market?
I think it's a multitude of things. First thing is their employees. They don't necessarily want a sign out in front of the property. It can cause a disruption in business. I think two, they want to see if they can find the right buyer and maybe not fully commit as well with not putting it on the market. So those are the two things I would probably say is the most common theme.
Yeah. That's a really good point as far as employees not knowing. A lot of people are afraid of the optics. What are my customers going to think if they see a for sale sign on the front of the building? Do they think I'm going out of business?
Yeah.
Do they think we're relocating entirely? Are my employees going to start looking for other jobs?
Yeah.
When most of the time that's not the case, especially if the company's staying in town, just moving and expanding. It's actually a good thing. They're growing.
Exactly.
But they're just afraid of what other people are going to think.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, super interesting. But, yeah, we got that one done. It was very smooth escrow. But regardless, up front, it was a lot of work. So
let's talk about the other building that you've been working on in particular for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
There was a few challenges along the way. What happened with that one?
Yeah, so another building in the Southeast Valley. Just talk about earning your fee with regards to the deal falling out of escrow multiple times, multiple challenges with the city. We had to go through multiple lot splits for this, with the seller retaining one of their lots where they conduct their actual business. And then we also found out about a week before closing one of the parcels that we had to add a water line, which also delayed the second part of the closing, which also incurred another, six-figure number for the seller at the end of the day to do all those costs with the plumbing, adding the water line, the meter as well, and then obviously going through that lot split process. So
yeah, how long did that take in total from
probably
listing to close?
Oh, from listing, I think it was like maybe 2 years.
Wow.
So like falling in and out of escrow, and then I think we put it under contract in March of last year and then closed March of this year.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the longest timelines we've had, I know for sure. But with those projects and getting approval from the city, it's never quick.
Yeah.
So definitely important to be proactive. At least the items that are in your court, make sure that you can get them off to the city right away.
Exactly. City employees, they're working, 9 to 5. They're not going to necessarily have that urgency. And then there's a lot of days that they're closed. So keep that in mind if you're developing a project or doing a lot split. I would expect more time than usual for something like this. And I think it's only gotten worse since COVID, where people have more of a hybrid schedule as well. So
yeah, and that being said, they're slammed with new projects going on in the Southeast Valley. All those big box industrial buildings going up. They've got a lot on their plate too.
Yeah. Awesome.